Hey, make sure to check out our Minnesotans Making a Difference segment. It's sponsored by the Minnesota Lottery on Minnesota Bound, Sunday night at 10:30.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of a Minnesota Bound podcast. I'm Ron Schara, and your host for this edition anyway, and anxious to hear the story you're about to hear. You have never heard of Ward Johnson, maybe, but you should and will, because Ward Johnson is, what should I say, perhaps Mr. Monarch Butterfly, not only in Minnesota, but America as well. So, Ward, welcome to the program.
Thanks for being here. Love to see you again.
Thank you.
Yep.
Now, the last time I saw you, Ward, you and your lovely wife were sitting around the dining room table, I recall, putting little milkweed seeds in packets and sending them out to people free of charge, or if they wanted to donate, they could, simply because of your passion for monarch butterflies, which are dependent on milkweed.
Yes, they are. Certainly are, yes.
How did that start?
Well, it's a very interesting story. I was brought up in a small town in western Minnesota called Clara City. My mom and dad were school teachers in that town, and they always had things living in their house. They had fish, we had everything. My mother had 1,000 African violets, and we always had butterflies in the backyard. So I was totally aware of that whole scenario. This is in the late 40s, early 50s, long, long time ago.
Yes.
So we fast forward many, many years till 2014, and I had been kind of subconsciously aware of the decline of the population of monarchs since 1992 to 2014. The monarch population in the U.S. had dropped by 92%. Amazing phenomenon, and nobody was paying any attention to it. My recollection are everybody wanted to talk about educating people, and nobody was talking about doing anything about it. Mm-hmm. And so I woke up at about 3 a.m. and said, "Ann, we're going to go do something about it." And so we decided to set this up, this Save Our Monarchs. So it's a foundation. It's a 501(c) in Minnesota, tax-free environments where people can donate to us for free of charge. But so we set that up, and we did start on the kitchen table with a pile of milkweed seeds and little packets over here, and we pulled them off, 20 or 30 of them at a time. We did it for several months.
Wow.
And you know what? After a while, it's not very exciting.
I bet.
It's not. So basically, I found a source in New Hampshire that could automatically fill the packets for us. So that took care of that problem for sure.
Well, explain to people, for people that don't know, why milkweed seeds? What's this have to do with monarch butterflies?
It's a very interesting proposition you bring. It's basically milkweed is the only food that's the only place that monarchs can lay their eggs, and the eggs grow to become really tiny caterpillar, and the caterpillars eat nothing but milkweed seeds for their whole existence.
Milkweed plant, you mean?
Milkweed plant, milkweed leaves actually, and so. Like one monarch caterpillar can consume an entire milkweed plant in its lifetime.
Wow. So the logic was, if we can get people to plant milkweed using your seeds, indirectly we'll be helping the monarch butterfly.
Well, essentially, I really believe that to be true. I mean, everyone likes monarch. No one doesn't like monarch butterflies. Everybody likes them,
True.
but you're not totally aware of their existence. Kind of like I wasn't for all those years, and all of a sudden I became kind of involved. I was kind of at a retirement age, and I decided that this is something I can do. If I'm lucky, I can make a difference. Mm-hmm. So that was the beginning of it.
Well, you mentioned the fact that monarchs were quite prevalent in your youth and days as a young man, and then you perceived their decline. What caused that decline? Chemicals or what?
Well, it's actually a two-part solution to that. One is that when they leave here in the fall, they migrate to Mexico, to 1 square mile, like millions of them in a square mile.
I've seen pictures of that.
And what's happening down there is those trees that they use have been harvested for food, for heating, for so forth by the indigent Mexican people. So that's one of the problems. Much bigger problem is in the U.S., especially in the Upper Midwest, where the use of Roundup. Shouldn't talk about it because I'm not starting a campaign here against Roundup. But Roundup kills everything except the corn or the beans or whatever. And so that really took away all their habitat for growing, and so essentially all the rural areas where all the monarchs essentially were getting started all disappeared. So it changed the whole paradigm, so that we are now trying to get urban people to raise them in their own place, raise them and release them. And the other issue is a young caterpillar, a baby caterpillar, has a 90% chance of being eaten by other pests, by ants and aphids, by bees, hornets, and these little micro wasps come in and just destroy everything. So we have some solutions to that.
Well, what you're saying sounds very similar to other creatures that I'm aware of. For example, meadowlarks are disappearing in Minnesota because of the same things you just brought up. We grow nothing out in farm country anymore except corn and soybeans, and meadowlarks require grasslands. And bobolink is another bird that's disappearing. A mammal that's disappearing are jackrabbits.
Yeah.
So it's not unique, but like you said, maybe not everybody loves jackrabbits, but everybody loves the monarch butterfly.
Well, when I was living out in my hometown, they started using atrazine, which was a chemical used on the cornfields. And in 1 year, I remember in 1960, we went hunting. There were 12 of us. In an hour, we shot 52 pheasants, all roosters. And a year later, we shot none. And it was just like it fell off a cliff, the whole proposition. Same with the American eagles. Exactly the same. So
well, the eagle started coming back when we got rid of DDT. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
So Ward, and by the way, folks, we're visiting with Ward Johnson, who I now have just nicknamed him Mr. Monarch Butterfly. I don't know if that...
Yeah, man.
You should be proud of that.
You bet.
We're talking with Ward, who he and his lovely wife have started a campaign. When did your campaign start, Ward?
It was in March of 2014, so 7 years ago.
7 years ago, trying to do what they can to make life easier for the monarch butterfly by distributing seed and.
So we have in the past 7 years, we have actually. I have this whole thing running out of my garage. I have distributed 6 million packets.
I was just going to ask you, when I saw you and your wife doing this thing in the kitchen, I don't remember how many packets you'd put out by then, but it was impressive. And today, it's what?
We do about 600,000 a month.
Really? And this is by people requesting these. You're not just sending them to anybody.
We advertise, we promote everything. We have special packets for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, for Halloween, for Earth Day, for Valentine's Day. So we have a lot of promotion around those times to get more people to use those as part of their celebration. 4th of July is still a big era for us right now, where people hand them out at the parades. It's the thing. Our intent is getting it in as many hands as we can. The other thing we've developed is we started a big program to create a pouch of milkweed seeds and 17 other wildflowers, and it's called a pollinator pouch. And we distribute that almost for free to all schools in the U.S. Mm-hmm. And I have a photo with me, a photo of the map of where the population of the schools are. It's 20,000 across the whole United States, except in the mountain territories and deserts and places like that. But it's just an active thing that we do. there you can always see our information at our Facebook page, which is it's a great page. I have a website, but my Facebook page is my favorite. It's things we put news of the day in there every single day. It's called facebook.com/Save Our Monarchs. And if you go there, you'll find a whole lot of background information, technical information about the monarchs. We have a lot of school programs. We got kids shown doing their planting and their teachers and so forth. So we're going to keep doing that. And the nice thing is I have to have them send $1 in, because if you give them for free, everybody will just take them and take them and take them and take them. Mm-hmm. At least they have to pay $1 for the shipping. Mm-hmm. So it's essentially a free program. Get the kids in school, and it's a beginning of a ongoing program.
I remember that initially you and your wife used your own money to support this.
We did, and it's not cheap. It costs a lot. I mean, I buy these packets 100,000 at a time, and it costs me like $15,000. So you
can't keep doing that forever.
Not even a very short time, actually. So I haven't got any government money. I haven't got any grant money, anything. I just get it from grassroots people like you and I. I ask them to send in X number of dollars, 25, 20, 10, 100, and send in 1,000. We get a lot of very nice. I've got 55,000 people that have liked us on Facebook.
Wow!
And my mailing list of people around the U.S. is now about 150,000 mailings they get per week from us. So we're busy. It's a kind of a PR challenge for us to get the word out without spending a lot of money.
Yeah. Ward, we're going to take a short break here and continue our conversation. I have a lot more questions about some of the feedback you've got from folks that have gotten your seeds, and a few other questions. But bless you for what you've done. It's truly amazing. So we'll take this break. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey there. Bill Shirk, the man about the woods. You know what? It's time to relax, and Voyager can help. Voyager builds custom saunas for your home, backyard, business, and you know what? The pick of the Shirk family, we love Voyager's mobile saunas that go anywhere we want to go. Clear grade cedar benches, spray foam insulation, Kuma wood-fired stoves, or Hilo electric heaters. These are Finnish-influenced hand-built saunas that will last a lifetime. They're constructed with care by the hometown Voyagers team. You know, the Shirk family loves our Voyager mobile sauna. Voyager, a Minnesota movement influenced by Finnish culture. Visit VoyagerSaunas.com and get ready to distress. Trust me, it works.
Hi, I'm Laura Schara, and do you really know what it costs to heat water at your home, cabin, or business? No? Well, we do. Based on data from the U.S. Department of Energy, the average annual savings for homes that heat their water with propane rather than electricity is $175. You can save energy and get 2.5 times as much hot water compared to the average electric water heater. Let's save energy and money with a cleaner, greener fuel. Propane, the right energy right now.
And who could forget Connecticut? The Shirks, we love our Connecticut water system. No secret there. We live out in the country. We've got that ironclad well water, which is good news and bad, right? Well, we treat all of our water with the Connecticut whole home water treatment system. We also use Connecticut's K5 drinking water system. You know that white buildup you get around your faucets? We've got none of that in the showers or in the kitchen. Our dishes are spotless. And of course, Katie loves what Connecticut water does for her hair and our skin. And like I like to say, the boys, before they leave for soccer practices or for the hockey rink, they always fill their water bottles with Connecticut water. What more can you say? Call Connecticut, do like the Shirks did, and look forward to clean, safe water.
Hey, welcome back to this edition of the Minnesota Bound podcast. I'm Ron Schara, your host for this go-round, and we're pleased to have a very special guest. Ward Johnson is his name, and Ward and his lovely wife single-handedly have taken a project to help the lowly monarch butterfly. by distributing milkweed plant seeds because monarchs are dependent on milkweed. Ward, you talked about, we talked about how you got started. You mentioned at the end you've had, not the end, but so far you've distributed how many seeds?
Well, we distributed 6 million packets, which constitute over 100 million milkweed seeds we've sent out across the U.S.
Do you have any way of knowing how many of these seeds actually ended up producing a milkweed plant?
It's hard to know. Milkweed is not particularly prone to germinate easily, so we have a lot of instructions on planting them. Make sure that you prepare the land properly. Make sure you have a cold stratification process. We put all the seeds in the refrigerator in a wet paper towel for a month prior to putting them in the ground, just to give them a head start on germination. So we do as much as we can to help. A lot of people don't know all that. It's not that great information, but it's good information. If you don't have it, you don't go anywhere. But so the way I've kind of judged us is to look at the return rate from Mexico, because it was down until about 2019, and all of a sudden it started to link up a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's up like 10% or 20% from the previous year.
Wow.
And I'm saying, I don't know if I had anything to do with that or not. I really don't.
But it's going in the right way.
I really don't. I mean, we do the best. I have no way of and I have no end point.
Right.
Because there's no end point there. I have a goal, like I want to do 40,000 schools. That would be a good goal for the next 2 or 3 years to get that many in place. The big help I've had I've had really good partners. I've had Landscape Arboretum, Minnesota Landscape Arboretum. Mm-hmm. I've had Como Park. I've had Pheasants Forever. You may be aware of that, or maybe
yes.
you weren't. We've got.
When you say you have these, what are they doing things for you?
They're partnerships. So they give us free publicity. I appear at their trade shows. I get up and talk until I'm blue in the face. Uh-huh. It's really a great kind of a collaboration that we do, and we've got maybe a dozen of those. A couple people give us $10,000, which is extremely nice.
Yes.
I'd like to get more government money, but I'm not adept at doing that.
I think you're better off without it. That's just my political view.
I try not to be political.
I know. Well, me either. But
we're not trying to be anything other than our goal is, if you look at our website, you'll see our goal is plant milkweed, one milkweed seed at a time. That's our whole goal. And so the more people we can get doing it, the happier we're going to be.
Well, let me tell you what I think you have going for you, because I took some of your packets home after we met, and I had a few milkweeds growing along the edge of my yard in some tall grass, but they were there somehow. And then I have a friend of mine who collected a bunch of wild milkweed and the pods,
Yeah.
So I goes out there and I just spread your seed out, thinking if those milkweeds made it, your seeds might make it, and I put some other wild milkweeds to the wind.
Sure.
Yep. So they could. Anyway, it wasn't really successful. I had 2 or 3 milkweeds growing, but now this year, I mow my yard. I go along where the milkweeds are. I avoid getting too close if they're there. But yeah, a couple weeks ago, there were milkweeds growing in my grass, my lawn grass.
Really?
So I mowed around them.
Yep.
Having to explain to my wife why in the hell I'm not. Why am I allowing this? Why am I allowing this grass to grow here? And what are those things that are growing? And they've come up on their own. And I'm not going to mow them down because I know why they're important and what you've done. But I'm just astounded that they came up where I least expected them.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because one of the caveats we give to all of our users is these things can take 2 to 3 years to germinate. So, like when they get blown in the wind,
yeah,
they show up at a random time, 1 or 2 or 3 or X number of years down the road. So people that are highly expecting to get 100 milkweeds where they put 100 seeds in the ground, I tell them that's probably not going to happen.
That'd be me. See, I think, well, you put the seed in the ground, you're going to see the plant.
So I'm sure my success rate of these 100 million seeds I've sent out is surely less than 10%. I don't know. I don't know the answer to
course.
that. But that's part of the deal.
But as I was saying, what you have going for you, I think, is we have people, perhaps like myself and others, who understand what you're trying to do, understand the value of the milkweed, and understand the fact that they have these seeds. They want to succeed with the seeds because they want to succeed with your goal in helping the monarch butterfly. As you mentioned earlier, everybody loves that damn thing. So,
and we do have every year we have a promotion toward harvest time to have people pick their own seeds, pick their own milkweed seeds.
Yes.
And we need them to clean them because they got that fluff is just everywhere, so you have to clean the fluff off. But I get boxes and boxes of these free from my customers across the USA. They're all, many of them older ladies. This is their pride and joy. This is what they do for love and money. And, it's kind of, and I get tons of them from kids. Kids send in they send in 25 or 50 milkweed seeds at a time. I mean, it's all out of their hearts, coming out of their hearts. So right now we're doing a big promotion with all the schools to send us the photos of your gardens.
Yes.
We want to do a big promotion on our Facebook, Save Our Monarchs, Facebook.com/Save Our Monarchs, trying to get more and more people, because it's kind of a catching proposition. The more people see other folks having a good time, the more likely is that they'll get on the bandwagon with us.
Share with me, if you can. You mentioned the fact that some of your fans send you seeds, etc. Do you get some letters from people that would be of interest to us?
Long letters.
Really?
Long letters. Everybody has a monarch story. Some of them have many monarch stories. So I get pages and pages. I have whole schools have all their kids in a class will kind of use a syllabus that the teacher creates for them and says, put these all together and I'll send them off to Save Our Monarchs. And part of my job is to accommodate those and give them a good response, give them a good feeling about the things that they've done for us. So there's a bunch of facets of what we do, just trying to make things better for the monarch. And I don't even use my face or my name on my website. So this is not a glorification thing. It's basically, let's get the job done. Let's get more kids planning these things. It's just it's a Guardian knot. It's so complicated to try to get right to the crux of the solution of the problem, but we try.
Yes. Well, I have to ask this because when we were out to your house filming that very first time we did a story on you, we were out in your backyard in some kind of a little garden, and we had a hell of a time finding a monarch or maybe even a milkweed. Now, I think you probably have improved that. It's
really hard. My lot is total clay, so I can't grow much of anything there. I can really grow a chickweed. What do they call them? Anyway, the stuff I don't want, it grows easily. I have trouble growing. So my biggest supporters, I've got two of them in town here. They're both nurseries. One is the Twin Orchards Nursery in Excelsior.
Yes.
And the other one is the Mustard Seed Nursery in Chanhassen. And together with them, we've created a habitat environment for monarchs.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
I looked at I looked at the milkweed growing in my yard, and I'm thinking, my wife, if she mows the yard, she's probably just going to run right over those things because she doesn't know, maybe. And but then I thought, could I dig those up and transplant them?
Not easily. Each milkweed plant puts down a huge taproot.
Okay.
And it goes down like 12 or 14 inches. If you don't get the base of the taproot, you don't have a success. So it's not easily done.
Okay.
I'm not saying you can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should not try, but you might be frustrated.
Well, so far they're kind of out of her sight and out of the way, and so no problem. I'm going to let them go as long as I can. Ward, we talked a little bit about your love of the monarch butterfly. Do you remember the first one you ever saw?
Well, I was probably 2 years old.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I was living in this small town in western Minnesota, and they were everywhere. So right across the street from where I lived on the edge of town, but I was a block from the middle of town. So it was not a big town. But we had an implement repair shop next door, and there were always weeds there and all kinds of milkweed growing there. So that was my first experience with the monarchs.
Yes.
But I didn't at that time. They were so common. I never gave it a second thought because they were everywhere.
Yes.
But that isn't the case anymore.
I just want to thank the Minnesota DNR, and as we know, Minnesota's wildlife management area are a vast array of lands across all of Minnesota, and there are approximately 1,400 wildlife management areas that are valued for wildlife in Minnesota's outdoor recreation opportunities. So speaking of recreation, to find out more about Minnesota's wildlife management areas, you can go to mndnr.gov/WMAS.
Today is a day for adventure. Cub has all the Nabisco snacks you need to make sure adventure is delicious from start to finish. Life just tastes sweeter when you share Oreo cookies on the trail, when you crunch Ritz crackers at the campsite, or rock the boat with Ritz Cheese Crispers. Stop a Cub on the way to your adventure. The great outdoors is calling. Don't forget your snacks.
In your wildest dreams, did you ever think that your little plant the milkweed seed idea, send them out, blah, 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 that it would grow to what it is today?
Not a chance. Not a chance. It's a little like being an entrepreneur. It's making something out of nothing. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of been my life. Is I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I've started many companies to do various things like that. So so anyway, I got some good stories, but I'm not going to tell you him there now. But anyway, I never thought that I'd be this successful. I still don't call it a success because I got so much more to do. So we just every day I get up. So every day I go to we have a thing on our website say if you send a self-addressed stamped envelope to this address in Minneapolis, you'll get milkweed seeds back for free.
Oh, wow.
So I get 20 to 50 letters every day.
Really?
I go to the post office, open each one, read all of them. And there's some of them come with checks. I recommend a $5 check with each donation.
Sure.
But I like doing that because those are the people that are so below the radar that you'd never run into them. But here they go to a farm show and they see there's this ad in the farm newspaper for the free milkweed seeds.
Yes.
I get these seeds. Get these articles from all over the country that people have written to do this, and that's encouraging to me because I need all the help I can get. It's just me and my wife. I've got a lady that does the fulfillment, which means the shipping for me.
Who does your website?
My son.
Oh, really?
He's a VP of a big company in town here, but he's a technology guy.
That's awesome. Ward, I'm going to let you go here, but a couple of things I need to say. One is, do you mind if I ask your age? You don't have to answer
79.5.
79.5. Bless you. Well, as a conservationist, in my mind, there's two kinds. There's conservationists who send out warnings and wring their hands and try to get the rest of us to wake up, which is fine. But then there are conservationists who say, what can I do to solve the problem? And you're that latter group where you took it up and said, how can I change the plight of the monarch butterfly? And you came up with this program, which is awesome, and I congratulate you for that.
Well, we have the biggest operation in the U.S.
I can believe that.
With a private entity. Obviously, there's government and all those kind of things, and they create a lot of heat and a lot of air, and I'm not sure how much good that they really do. But I'm not interested in their business. I'm interested in getting people, real people, to get in step with us. And so I love it when I send one of our mailings out. Every 100,000 people a week get our little mailing, and it's just like a groundswell of activity that comes in after that. So,
Ward Johnson, before I let you go, let's go one more time. How do people make contact with either your Facebook page or your website? Can you give those information out?
Love to. Our website is, it's not easy to remember, but it's saveourmonarchs.org. It's not Save the Monarchs, it's saveourmonarchs.org. And that's a good reference website to go to. But the site that I really like the best is our Facebook site, which is facebook.com/Save Our Monarchs. And there you'll see activities that are going on every day around the country and all the new releases from government and so forth. So we try to provide fresh information every day.
Ward, thank you again. Before we're going to say goodbye to you, but also have to say thank you to our sponsors. Voyager Saunas have joined the Minnesota Bound network, and then we, of course, thank Connecticut, the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources, Minnesota Propane, and Oreo and Ritz, those tasty crackers. So thank you again, Ward Johnson, and remember, all of you folks out there, introduce a kid to the great outdoors, introduce them to the monarch butterfly.